let's say that you have a form that collects data from a new lead and creates that lead in your HubSpot portal. And that lead you want to assign to someone based off of the selection from that form. We're going to do just that. So let me show you our use case and how we're going to demo this. I've created a very simple form, and it's the email, first name, last name, and the country. So in our example, we're going to say that we have a Mexican service team and a US based service team. And if it's one or the other in the selection, then we will automatically assign that new contact, that lead, to someone on our team based on what team they're on. Okay. So I've already submitted this. And if you look at the contact was created and you go into actions and you look at the property history, my goal here is to say, all right, I only want to create a workflow, an automation based off of that specific form. So I've clicked through a few different times, and eventually I came across the source detail equals new form. That's the name of the form. So that's how we're going to target this. So let's go ahead and do just that. We'll go into automations and workflows, and we will create a workflow from scratch. I'll make this a contact-based one because that's what we're doing in our example, but note you can do this for companies, tickets, really or anything, but companies, tickets, and contacts are what can be spun up automatically from forms. We'll set up our trigger, and we want to know both that the create date is known and that source detail. Record source detail 1 must equal new form. Perfect. We'll save that. And this will target all of them going forward. We'll make those selections when we turn it on. But I'm going to add the next step. And immediately I want to branch off with and or logic. And I'm going to say this is the Mexico service team. Contact properties. And we just did country region. And I'll put Mexico. Now this may be a drop down. This may come from different forms that you have set up, one for the other. So it might be you direct all traffic to the Mexico event or to a US based event, something like that. But this is just for demo purposes. We're going to say they're going to type in their address, and Mexico is their country or region. Great. I will save this, but actually let's add the other branch. It's going to be the exact same thing. So we'll clone this group altogether. I guess cloning doesn't work that way, but this will be the US service team. And you'll probably want to go ahead and just skip a few seconds ahead while I knock this out. All right, and I will save. And for the Mexico service team, we will do the assignments. I think it's rotate owner. Yeah, rotate record to owner. And I'm going to choose not specific users, but teams. It's a little more maintainable. And I want to pick our Mexico service team. And I will save that. And I'll clone this action only. Place it here. I'll save that. That looks great. The only difference is not the Mexico service team, but the US service team. And I'll save that here. There's this none met branch. So a lot of times what you can do is just like, you might want to send an email to a specific person that says, hey, check this out, look into it, get it assigned. But this is it. This is all it takes. All right. So what this does is it'll assign to someone on the team, and it's going to rotate between all the different users that are a part of that team. That's something I didn't show you guys where that is determined, but let's go look at those teams now. So if we go up here into users, and on the left-hand side, you'll see users and teams. And you can see that the main teams are established here, and where you go set those up is under teams. You can create a team. I have management, and I've created both of those here. If you want to know how to do this or how to even think through users and permissions and teams, I've got a video for that as well. But that's all it is. And so if we look at the US service team, there's 3 people, and it's going to loop through each one. And so the first contact that comes in is going to go to this user, the next one to that user, the next one to that one, and then it'll just rinse and repeat over and over. So that's it. Let's go ahead and go to our workflow, and I just want to see if this works or not. Let's say region base contact owner. And then I'll usually just generate with AI here, but make sure that makes sense and save it. And then when we review and publish, I do not want to enroll existing clients. I want to only go forward, next, next, and I'll turn this workflow on. And so now let's go back to our form. I'll refresh, and I'm just going to make a new one. Raimundo Thomas from Mexico, submit, and let's check this out. Let's go back to our CRM, go into contacts. There we go. Raimundo Thomas has been created. He's a lead, and let's see if the workflow has been triggered. Hasn't been set yet. Let's look and turn on workflows. I don't say this has been triggered yet. All right, so now we just need to do a little bit of troubleshooting. So I'm going to copy, actually, let's do the email address. And I'll go back to this workflow, and let's first just test. Cool, and we can see that it would rotate through to the Mexico service team, and that it should enroll, but it hasn't yet. So let's look at enrollment history. And there have been absolutely no enrollments. Sometimes it takes a second for it to catch up, but I don't think that's what's going on here. We have some sort of issue. Oh, okay. I see what happened. It did not actually create a new contact. Right? It used my last test and instead added this new email address. And that makes sense because this is all cookie based. So it looked at my browser and said, okay, you're the same user. So let's instead go down here and we'll open up a new incognito window. And we're going to fill it out fresh. And guys, I hope that you are enjoying seeing this sort of thing. So it doesn't always go smoothly the very first time, but I also think it's interesting to learn how do you go about troubleshooting it. And we've already uncovered a few other little tips and tricks along the way. So let's jump back in and let's say Ray Thomas client at gmail.com. All right, Raymond Thomas from Mexico, and I will submit this. Great. Now let's do what we were trying to do just a moment ago. Go into contacts. And with any luck, it's already triggered the workflow and ran completely. But there's my new form submission with the new email that we just tried. Don't have a contact owner yet. And still no workflow triggered. All right, so I just did a refresh. It's enrolled, and so now we'll just wait to see this contact owner be assigned whenever it finishes. Cool, and it did. And so it went to the first person on the Mexican team and assigned it that way. So yeah, there we have it. It works. Ta-da! Wish it was a little smoother the first time around, but again, it's kind of helpful to just see the few little things that could happen here. Yeah, let me know if you like this style, or if you would prefer me to go in and really edit and chop up my videos, make them nice and clean for you guys, or if this is an acceptable method. What I'm hoping is that I can start at this square one of me maybe rambling too much, and can instead learn to improve the one take videos over time rather than spending 3 hours polishing it up. But at the end of the day, if that's what you guys prefer, let me know, leave me a comment. And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that for me as well. All right, thanks so much. Take care.